they will notice how you talk to strangers and then how you talk to your family. And kids are so good at that. And it's like, we just have to keep that in mind. It's like, am I talking nicer to people I do business with or strangers on the street than my own family? Am I letting the frustration or stress seep through?
No. Ooh, that's better, right, babe?
Yeah!
Yeah. She founded an architectural concrete company.
He founded a $100 million clothing company.
She took the world by storm as a social media star.
He took the world by storm as a famous serial entrepreneur.
Together we started a business.
And had babies.
Now we're figuring out the best ways to do both.
Join us as we learn from other entrepreneurs going through the same life struggles.
As they share their life hacks about success, love, kids,
and everything in between.
Children have never been good at listening to their elders, but they have never failed to imitate them. Quote by James Baldwin. To be in your children's memories tomorrow, you must be in their lives today. Quote by Barbara Johnson.
Welcome back to the Entrepreneur Parents Pretty and Punk podcast. My name is Dan Caldwell, and I'm here sitting next to my beautiful wife,
Ildiko Ferenzi. So good to see you, friends.
And we have a great podcast for you guys. And it's something, it's a powerful truth that we are all dealing with. If you're an entrepreneur and you're a parent, you are dealing with it, I promise you. In some form or fashion, you're dealing with it. And it's something that we want to speak to you about today. But before we jump into that, hey guys, we hope you're enjoying today's episode of the Pretty and Punk podcast. And if you are, and you haven't already hit that like and subscribe button, it just takes a second. It means so much to us because it really helps the podcast get out there to more listeners like you guys. And if you know anybody it might help and you can send it to them, we really appreciate that too.
We also love and appreciate your reviews. Even the babies look forward to them every day. If you share this episode on social media today, don't forget to tag us. We want to celebrate you because we know it's not easy being a parent in business, and the way that you juggle things makes you a superhero. That's worth a shout out. Together, we have a community of our personal followers as well, and we just want to put it out there. We want to show everybody that this juggle is possible, and you are our family, and we're so proud and grateful to have you a part of this family. So don't forget, all the links are below in the show notes, and thank you again, and let's get back to the show. I believe that we've been lied to. So if you're waiting until you're less busy or less broken or more successful to show up for your children, you're going to miss the moments that matter most. And that's what this episode is about, is the presence. Your children don't need a perfect parent. And what they really need, they need you, the real you, the one that wipes the tears while you're tired, that shows up when you're exhausted, the one who holds space even in the chaos, because that's our commitment as parents. And perfect, remember, isn't the goal. It isn't the goal. Presence is the assignment. And legacy is built in the in-between moments when the world isn't watching. But guess who is watching? Your children are watching. So, and entrepreneurship, remember this, because this is the lie. Entrepreneurship will tempt you to believe that love is earned through the results and that extra zero at the end of the paycheck, that one more deal or one more launch, one more, as I said, zero at the end of the paycheck will make up for missed memories. Well, it's not going to. The kids don't calculate hustle. They remember who was there. They remember the tone of your voice. Every time they try to talk to you and you may be in the middle of something, or you may be dealing with your stress, they're going to remember the tone of your voice, how you looked at them, how you pushed them off, or how you pulled them in. They'll look in your eyes, and whether they were a priority or a pause button, they're going to remember this. So if you've been caught in the guilt or the grind, it's time to come back home. And just real quick, I mean, if they were to write your eulogy, how would they remember you? I mean, do you have anything to say to that?
Well, I know it's a careful balance, because the truth is our kids also see our work ethic in us. And so you're trying to balance, and it's particularly hard for us because I don't know, I'm sure there's other parents out there that are dealing with the same thing, but we homeschool our kids and we run our business from home. So they see us every day, all day, and they're with us every day, all day. So when they see us working on the computer or we're on our phone, and it looks like that we're just, we could be scrolling, because then they look at us like we're just spending time scrolling, and we'd rather be scrolling than spending time with them. And that's simply not true, because I think for the most part, 99.9% of the time we're working. And so the kids see something when they see our work ethic, they see us working. I want them to see that work ethic. I want them to see us building something. I want them to see the fruits of that business when a podcast comes together, or a new edit comes together, or our new business comes together. When they see those things, they realize and we tell them, and part of that comes from explanation. This is what we're working on right now. We sit them down, and those are the things that you need to do so that they understand that you're not scrolling. You're not just spending endless time on a computer or a phone doing nothing. You're spending time working on a project, and you want them to understand that project. And this is where it's important, and this is where we bring them in, and where you should bring them in to show them and sit them down. Daniel was sitting on my lap yesterday as we were watching through some videos on this new project that we're doing. And I wanted him to see exactly how that project was coming together. And at the same time, he asked me, hey, let's go. Can you please, Dad, please come down and play soccer with us? And as much as I wanted to finish what I was working on, I stopped. And it was hard, because when you're in the middle of something, you feel like, oh my gosh, I'm going to forget where I'm at. And I need to get this done and one more thing. But I felt, and usually we have designated time that we'd be doing this, but I felt the fact that I needed to go down right there, because he just needed me at the moment. And so we went down and all played soccer together downstairs. But
I think that's good too. I noticed the last 3 times you've been going down, and I remember just silently rooting. I don't want to tell you, okay, go down there. But I feel like he's been feeling, and I don't think they understand even what scrolling is. Sometimes you do to just get your mind off of stuff, but I don't think they understand that.
No, I think it's
the
a personal
whole thing,
guilt when you're
right. But the whole thing, I think, with children is because they don't understand anything other than eye contact, tonality in your voice, the connection. I remember when you were going through some stresses and stuff, they will notice how you talk to strangers and then how you talk to your family. And kids are so good at that. And it's we just have to keep that in mind. It's am I talking nicer to people I do business with or strangers on the street than my own family? Am I letting the frustration or stress seep through to my family? But then I have this way that I am with strangers. I feel like we need to be so careful with that, because presence just isn't in the time. The presence is the connection that we have with our children and our family. So I think that it's really important, yes, that if they're asking, that you connect them with them in a heartfelt, honest way, and also carefully. And you have to have these designated times where you're going to put the phone down. And you don't ever want them. I mean, I think you mentioned the thing about the phone because Daniel and Destiny have said in the past, when you've been really busy, is why is the phone so important? And then you have to explain, well, it's my business, but that's not even, well, then they think that your business is more important than them. So there's a fine balance, I feel, with entrepreneurs or parents, and that could be just going off to the office. Why is he always going off to the office, or whatever it is? I feel like for us, what's been successful is including our children and really explaining.
That's what I was going to say. Don't you think that transparency is so important? Because
100%.
That's not only where you get to spend time with them,
help them bond.
Because now you're spending time together, and
building
that's all
something
they want is
great.
connection. They just want the connection.
Yeah.
And even when we're doing the podcast with them, when we're doing their podcast, in case you didn't know, they have a podcast, Entrepreneur.
Yes, go.
Entrepreneur
This
Kids.
is what, the
Legacy show.
eighth week. They're in the new and noteworthy in their
killing it.
In their
if you have kids,
categories.
They have to be listening to this podcast.
Well, because here's the thing. Sometimes, and our children didn't do devices till they were 3 years old, and that's not easy. So I understand if you're struggling and you're dealing with stuff, and sometimes you have to. But this was a very intentional sacrifice, and I call it a sacrifice because it would have been easier for me to just put them on whatever, but that just doesn't happen. We don't have devices in the car, no restaurants, not at dinner, not at meals.
Yeah,
we
when you
have
say
conversations.
they didn't do devices until they were 3. They didn't even see a device. They didn't even want to. They didn't look at a screen.
And we didn't hang out with people that had their children on
like
devices.
You said,
That's
we don't
no.
take devices to ever anywhere.
And it's crazy because people come up to me and they say, wow, this is amazing. It's not amazing. It's just a habit. It's just self-discipline, and it's a habit, and it's hard. And it's something that, as I said, it's a sacrifice.
And it should be hard. It should be hard because when you go to dinner, you should be talking with your family and spending time with your family and enjoying that dinner with them, not on your phone, it's so hard to look over at a table and see everybody in their phone, and
it's so sad.
And it's sad. It's sad. And not that me and you haven't caught ourselves kind of looking at our phones.
More you.
Okay. Me.
I'm dealing with the babies.
Looking at my phone.
I don't even have the time.
I'm like, you have to, it's self-regulation.
100%.
And you have to just be aware. It's just the awareness. Once you see it and you're like, you catch yourself.
You can't unsee it.
You just pull out, you recorrect and you put your phone down and you get back into it and jump right back into those conversations.
And I know for some moms, because we have these conversations, I'm not coming at anyone. I'm trying to help people because they're like, how do you do it? And it's going to be hard. It's going to be messy. It might be loud for a few restaurants, and you may not be able to go back to those same restaurants. But in a minute, it's going to become a habit, and you guys are going to have great conversations. Your children are going to behave better. But okay, enough about that. Pulling it back to their podcast, there's a lot of bad, and we know this as parents, there's a lot of bad information. There's a lot of awful content out there, even stuff on YouTube where it's made out to be all innocent. And then there's this weird stuff in the middle of videos. I've heard this from other moms, and it scares me because sometimes in the infant stages of your business, if you haven't made it already, you feel like you're letting your children listen to something or watch something safe, and it's actually not. So the kids have come up with this idea to create a show that sneaks in, sneak attack, some faith and learning and fun. And they've come up with this whole concept. And as I said, it's like their 8th or 9th week.
So good.
Being in the top of their category.
I'm so proud of them.
And they're doing great. And it's just, they're just trying to help the world, change the world, and help connect with other little leaders out there,
and
world
this is where-
changers. And I love that
And I
idea.
think you agree that this is something that allows us to spend more time together. It's still
Yes.
building something for them. I mean, they're already making money doing it. They're
Yes.
already getting advertising dollars. So it's something that allows us to spend time together, and you can find your own thing. Everybody can find their own thing.
Right.
They can even if the business doesn't have to
Whatever
be
your
super
niche
fruitful,
is in your family.
Start small.
Yeah, it could be collectible. I mean, we had a collectibles. It could be anything, baking. Whatever it is, just let your mind get creative. Children have the most brilliant ideas because this is their show is more structured than ours, where I feel like we can really just speak off the
Yeah, we kind of
off
just
the
jump
heart.
On. We just come out of here
speak
and
from
just
the
start-
heart. It's
jump right
something that
into
has
it.
come up during the week, and or just a topic that our community is I almost said suffering with, but just dealing with stuff. And I just think, okay, let's just speak about this from the heart. I feel like this is going to impact someone, and it really truly does. So our structure is a little bit different, but you got to check it out. Entrepreneur Kids.
Legacy Show.
Yes, and if you're busy, just play all the different episodes. You're going to get some great stuff from it, I promise.
Yeah, if you're
It's
going to put your
great.
kids on something, put them on something good.
Yeah.
And this is good. This is really good for your kids. Especially those like, I would say like what, 4 to 12, somewhere in there? 4 to 12?
Before you reach for that coffee, consider this. What if the energy boost you're looking for isn't in your cup, but in your cells? I challenge you to swap your morning coffee for Shilajit by Symbiotica. And here's what can happen. No crash, no jitters, just clean, sustained energy, plus mental clarity and trace minerals that our bodies actually need, that are actually starving for, to be honest. This isn't just a supplement. It's an ancient adaptogen sourced from the Himalayas that supports mitochondrial function, stamina, and overall vitality. Your coffee never did that. Okay, let's just be honest. Try it for a week and tell me your body doesn't thank you. Symbiotica's Shilajit is next level wellness, and honestly, you may never go back to drinking coffee. Click the link below down in the bio and get your Shilajit today. Oh my gosh, baby in the womb. I was going to hit on this at the end of the show. We'll talk about it later, but I think the conversations and the love and speaking power and prayer over your baby, as soon as you see that faded pink line or blue line or whatever it is on the test, you start speaking over them, and you start praying, and you start talking to them. It starts young. You can start listening to it now. Listen to the things that are life-changing to you, and it's going to be familiar to them. With Daniel and Destiny, somehow their mindset, and it just, here's the thing, they will become who you are. So you could talk the talk.
Truth.
You could talk the talk, and you can say what your intentions are, because we all have great intentions in our heart, but you'll start to see a reflection of exactly how you are in real time. Say if you lose your temper or you're not great with your spouse, that's going to show in your children the way
Or
they
if
interact
you're just
with
somebody
each
who
other.
sits on the TV all day long, as soon as you
Right,
get home
your
from
children are
work,
going to have the addiction. You're going, oh, why are they on? Well, maybe it's a reflection of what you're doing. Or if you're super kind, like you see those children that stroke each other's faces and they're holding hands, and then you look at their parents, they're holding hands. They say the kindest things. One is emotional, and the way that they talk them down, all of a sudden you see the parents record their children, and the son is, it's okay, baby. Let's just, and they do the cutest little things. Well, that is a reflection of the parents. The reflection, and here again is the scary part. The way that they act in the restaurant, that is a
modeling us.
reflection of how you guys are at home. And this is a reminder to us. This isn't coming at anyone. This is just little things to think about. And if you identify as we're working on mindset here. It all begins with mindset. Don't take it as an assault or an attack. This is just an identity of, oh, dang, yes, this is where I can do better. These are the things that I could change. And you can start today and it becomes a habit. You need 21 days to do something different. It becomes a habit. So don't think that you're lost and it's all, oh, it's over. This is it. No, you can change this stuff. And especially with praying over your family, praying with your family, things are going to change and it's going to be up from here. If you want it to go
I think we talked
way.
about perfection at the beginning too. It's like it doesn't need to be perfect. Here's the problem: is that with social media,
you see the
you're seeing all
curated
these
content.
curated, perfected
They want the burnt
moments.
pancakes. They
And
want
it's
the
hard
burnt
because
toast.
it's you see, and your kids, if they're seeing this, they're seeing kids. Like, there's kids out there whose dads are running around playing with them all day long.
Yeah,
on
he's talking about
social
some
media.
YouTube shows.
And-
you got to be careful with that too, because some of it isn't realistic. And then they're having birthdays that are just,
It's a
and it's
30-minute
hard.
show, and they see their dad playing video games with them all day long. I mean, it's like, that's not reality.
For everyone, yeah.
That's not, and if
I don't even
if you play
really-
games with your kids, then, that's cool, but don't, it's that maybe that's
Again,
your
be
time
careful
that you
of
spend
what
with them.
you let in,
just
what
be
kind of
careful with what you're
content.
playing with them.
What-
I'm
make
not saying
sure-
that that's bad. I'm saying you spending time with your kids is great, and having fun with your kids is great, but they shouldn't see that that's your focus of your time all the time.
I think, right. And I think your children will understand the reality of your family. Every family has something different. Maybe that family plays games all day and they do these things all day. But I also explain, listen, they're getting paid. Like they're pushing this because
That's
they're
a
getting
business
paid.
for them.
It's a business. Don't get it skewed. So our children understand that. I said they could also be doing a show about building an actual business together. They could be showing the behind the scenes, but they're not. They're just showing the fun part or the birthdays. And most of these birthdays, they're sponsored. They have a lot of people that want to get on that show. They get a credit and all that stuff is free. But for the average person that doesn't understand, I find it heartbreaking because their children are comparing this, $12,000, $20,000 birthday compared to their sweet little at-home birthday party. And all of a sudden they're getting these ideas of, well, their parents love them more. Well, that's simply not true. So it's almost like you need to just be honest with your children and explain, hey, this is a business. A lot of that stuff is free. Just be super crystal clear,
And-
honest. And there's all these cameras around. At least we as a family get this intimate time together. Whatever
because
whatever
that's
your
what
birthday
kids truly
celebration
want.
is.
They really just want your time. Mm-hmm. At the end of the
And
day,
to
they
feel
wanna
like
spend
they
time with
matter,
you.
not like, oh, okay, just
Yes,
5 minutes,
absolutely.
10 minutes, okay, fine. Like you don't, and you have to catch yourself. Maybe your brain's going in that direction, but you just
Yeah, that
can't
may be how
because
you
that is
feel.
so scary.
Don't
No,
let that be what they see.
I think as a survivor, I feel a different, geesh, sorry. I forgot yesterday, one of my friend's sister's husband passed away incredibly unexpectedly. So for me, life is so precious. So for me, before answering, I get a flash. My brother, he passed away at 18 years old. We don't plan these things, but you just have to remember how precious life is, how blessed you are. A lot of people are praying. They're still praying for that baby. I spent years praying for a baby. So I feel like these things, they impact me different. And I know my husband hasn't had these problems. So sometimes he'll get a little huffy and then we'll pull each other aside. I'll be like, remember your blessing. Remember this gift, because you're not going to get it back. They're going to grow up, and then you're not going to have to deal with it. You may even be begging them for a conversation. You'll probably fly halfway across the world hoping that they'll have a coffee with you. Like that's not, and it may not happen because they're never going to have that connection. So build that connection now, because I know I love my father. I love him. But the connection I have with my mother, 100% different, because she was there for me through every up and down, always there for me. She never, ever once said no. Even when it was hard, we talked about this on another episode. My father was supposed to babysit me or take care of me or whatever. This was in the infant stages of the divorce, and she had a super important meeting. She was building her business, and he couldn't make it. And she could have canceled, but she didn't. She brought me with her, which was the ultimate best move of her life, because guess what? I remember it still. She probably thought I wouldn't remember. And, oh, it's okay, honey. Maybe we'll do it another time. Or what was it? It was the holiday. We were supposed to go on a holiday, but then we had to do this meeting. And it just was so valuable to me. And I feel like it built me. So before you say, no, sorry, I can't show up, or we can't do this, they'll remember that. I'll never forget that my dad couldn't make it. But guess who did? My mom did. I'll never forget it. She's not here anymore, but I know how I spoke about her in the eulogy. I know how everybody was crying because of the relatability. They related to the person that was there for them. And that's never going to be made up when we're older. You need your parents while you're young. The psychologists talk about it. It's not Mickey Mouse or not just saying this. It's because it's the truth. You're going to know who in your life showed up. There's a lot of successful people that mention it was a teacher for them because their parents were, MIA.
Yeah.
So just remember this. Be the person that was there for them in the infant stages, because when they're grown up, they're doing their own things. It's never going to be a connection.
And it's truly quality over quantity.
Yes.
I do all their homework with them, and I love that I get to spend that time with them when we're doing work together.
Yes.
Sometimes they get a little sideways, but it's always
you reel them back in.
It's great because I feel like I'm so connected with them when we're doing work, because they love to learn. So those moments where they're asking questions, it just feels so. I feel so connected, and I don't read a story to them every night. I was trying to, but sometimes you do,
sometimes I do.
But I try to read as many stories to them as I can, and I love those moments too when they're hearing the stories, and those moments where we're all sitting down together. It's like we love those times. Not that we can do them all the time, and sometimes we forget, and sometimes we miss it, but we can always come back to that and right the ship and get on track again and start doing that with them again. And I love that they're reading, Daniel's reading, and that he's, reading to us. Just sitting down with him and having him read to us is awesome.
Yeah.
So it really is quality over quantity, because the kids just want to spend time with you. They just want to spend time with you. And that's why this business thing is so perfect, that they get to see what you're doing. If you include them in your business, in their business, help them create something, sit down and talk with them. That's where you get to spend time with them, but you're also helping them. They're also learning something from that. When you put them to work in your business, whatever you might be doing, even if it's a part-time business for you, whatever you're doing, if you put them to work in your business or show them what you're doing, they're learning from that. Those are skills that they will never forget in life.
Yeah, that's true.
If they participate with you. I'm losing my voice here.
Yeah, and it could be anything from, I don't know what kind of thing you got going on. Is it coming up with marketing ideas? Is it packing boxes? I remember Daniel stumbling over himself. He could barely walk, and he's getting the box and putting the filler inside so that the the collectible piece wouldn't get damaged. And he was so excited. It was like a game. And even if you don't have the business, include them in the chores. Have them put away the dish. My daughter and my son love to help me. Whatever it is, let them help you. Sometimes it gets messy, but you just have to bite the bullet and just let them help because it means the most. The other day they were cooking with me. And these are life skills that they have to have. They can't get lazy because when they're on their own, they're going to have to clean their own house. They're going to have to cook their own food. And you don't want it to feel overwhelming because I'm telling you, if you get takeout, you're going to get sick. The poisons that are in that food, it's not good. It's not good.
And there's a million studies on this, so I could go over all kinds of studies on the fact that there's a study here from UCLA, a study here from Marriage and Family, Harvard University and it's very easy to understand that when you spend time with your kids, it's going to when they see quality time with you, when they have that connection with you, that they are going to grow up to be better parents. They're going to grow up to be better human beings.
Listen up, friends. You don't want to miss this one. It may be a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Are you an entrepreneur, a parent, or someone building something that truly matters? Well, then you need to hear this. This is your invitation to step into the spotlight on one of Apple's top 10 podcasts, the Entrepreneur Parent Pretty and Punk podcast. I'm Ildiko Ferenzi, and alongside my husband, Dan Caldwell, we host conversations that most families are too afraid to have. From building a legacy to balancing marriage, parenting, and business, the struggles, the juggles, and the breakthroughs, this is where life meets real impact. With thousands of downloads, a loyal audience of parents, and legacy-driven couples, this is more than exposure. It's a loyal connection. You'll walk away with a high-impact feature episode, pro content clips to elevate your brand, and credibility standing beside voices that are shaping the next generation. Your story could be the light someone's praying for in their darkest moment. If you're building something that truly matters, you're not just invited, you're needed. Apply now. Spots are limited. If you feel that tug on your heart, don't wait. Message us right now at contact@prettyandpunk.com. That's contact@prettyandpunk.com. Well, I see the Harvard one, the Harvard Center on the Developing Child. The strong predictor of a child's long-term success is a stable, supportive relationship with at least one parent. So that's even at least one parent. So if you're going through the D word, don't feel bad, because if you have one parent that's there, that's going to be the predictor of their success. And so it's not wealth, it's not school or achievement, it's that. It's having that present parent that's putting in the quality. And what was the other thing? They don't need more from you, no, not more money, more things, exactly what we're talking about. They need more of you. That's what they need. And did you
I think guiltful, I would say that all of us have at one time or another tried to give something to replace our time being there, and it's just not.
That doesn't even
same.
work with our kids because sometimes they won't even open presents. They just want, they literally
Christmas presents, and we only get them 3 things, so they're 3 or 4 things.
You can't buy these kids.
But they get stuff from other family members too, and there's their presents still sitting around the house that they haven't opened yet.
They want connection because that's the way we raise them. So when they get older, just know money's not going to buy destiny. She wants the connection. And Daniel too, the fancy, flashy things, it's not going to work. Like sending or giving them presents, it doesn't work. They'll play with the things that they like. They'll only choose a couple things, and these other things are boxed up. And then don't give it to some other kid, someone that needs it. That's the way their mind is. That's the way their heart is. They would rather go on a vacation and spend time with us, or just, well, they really love going on vacation. And I think that's because of how I grew up, because there's this, it's an adventure. And I try to bring that into the whole business aspect, but
it's where we get more connected more than any other time. That's
the best gift. That's the best gift. Book a cruise, book a trip, book somewhere, something new.
Or go camping.
No.
Spend the time together. Let's go.
No thanks.
Let's go camping.
I'm good.
No,
but here's
I'm just
the thing.
saying that not everybody can go spend $20,000 on a
No, you don't have to.
cruise.
You don't have to.
I'm just saying,
listen,
spending
Tony
time
Robbins, when he was in his infant stages of building his success, he went to the Ritz. I can't remember. Okay, but maybe it was a Ritz-Carlton, but he would go somewhere fancy for lunch, and just he needed to be around that mindset, that he wanted to be around people to study them, to understand how did they get to where they are. So he would go to those places. You don't have to stay in an expensive hotel.
I'm not saying
you can go there.
That.
You can go there for lunch
important.
To study people and watch them. And my mom used to do this with me all the time. We would flip houses, and they were disgusting, and I hated it. But we would also do the walkthrough in the $1 million homes, and we had a beautiful home. We were on the rich side of town, but not by accident.
I'm saying
it was because we worked
spending
hard.
time together is important. It could be camping. It could be metal detecting.
I think I'm with my mom
fishing.
on this one. My mom went camping for years and years and years when she was poor.
Because you're a girl, you don't get it. It's like
glamping.
Sometimes guys want to go camping together. Guys want to go. They want to go reach through and grab a scorpion and take it home, and
that's fine.
Go catch a fish and rip a hook out of its mouth. Like it's like that's what guys do. Like kids, I wanted to
camp
They're do that together.
When I was little, and my mom.
I remember
you
her
want to
go
rolling.
to the Ritz-Carlton. I get it. I understand.
I remember her rolling her eyes, going, "Oh gosh," because when we were broke and we were building the business, that's all we could do. We would always go camping, and she had boys, so she had to go camping. She had to be the
where
camping
you
mom.
are. It's who
no, they
you're
had
with.
the best. No, she said I have the best memories, but when we made it, she just promised she would never.
Okay,
she would
you're
never.
You're not a camper. I get it.
RV maybe. I just don't want
camper.
something biting my,
Okay, I get it. I
don't want to go on.
You're not a camper. You don't want to be around bears and snakes and bugs. I get it.
Hey, I booked you a
would rather be at the
glamping for your
Ritz-Carlton.
birthday. I booked you a glamping, incredible, one of those bubble things, and
I want to get
that was amazing.
bubble.
It was, and it has a luxury restaurant.
That's the Ritz-Carlton.
It was not.
I'm talking about going. I'm talking about going deep in the woods with a gun on your side and you're going hunting for pheasant. You got a tent.
Okay,
and
you're
no
on your own.
Communication. And
you're on your own.
It's cold, and
see,
you got
Daniel
blankets
wants
and
to
you're
have
warmed up
intelligent
next to each other.
conversations. He's like,
he wants to go.
He's coming with
camping.
mommy.
Okay,
he's coming with mommy and Destiny.
Oh boy. Okay. Let's give him some challenge. What can we do this week?
Okay, well, this isn't a tough one, but this is obviously tech-free time. The basket. We talked about this before. The phones go in the basket, and I want it to be intentional. I want the kids to see the phones go in the basket like it's not a big deal. And even, I know a lot of people, their businesses revolve around the phone, around their computers, but you just really need to be intentional. Now,
the business is not going to close down because you put
and
your
if
phone
it does,
away
you can
for
build
an hour.
a new one, because sometimes you're going to have to pivot, and that's just the way it is, especially today. Go for the walk. Maybe it's a walk, or play the game. really play the game. Focus on being present, because sometimes when you're playing the game, you're not actually there. Your mind is elsewhere. Shut your mind off and connect. Look at the little hands. Remember them, because they're never going to be that small again. Look at the little smiles, the laughs. Are you connecting? Take inventory of these little things that are going on during the play. What makes them laugh more? What makes them feel more connected? Are they coming towards you, or are they kind of standoffish? If they're a little bit standoffish, that means you've been pushing them off for quite a while. And I know it's hard sometimes because there's a great connection when the children are little with the mothers. So when they get a little bit older, I mean, some girls and some babies are daddy's girls and daddy's boys, but there's also always that strong connection. If they're babies, go out of your way to see how you can connect with them, because that connection will be lifelong. How about a silly dance party before bed? I think this is more for the moms. I mean, some of the dads like to do this stuff. You're not really a dancer, but my kids, they just have so much fun when they can dance and do silly things. Record it. Now, if mom's spending time with the kids, and I know every mom will vouch for this, please record them. Please take pictures, because they're never going to be that little again. And being a mom, it's the most valuable job. It's the most valuable, precious pouring into another human that you will ever have in your life. So take some memories for mom, so she can have that to look back onto when they're off living their own life and doing great things, because it brings the heart back to that moment. And same with
and
dad.
I love this, reading a book with your kids. Like that's something that is I had fond memories growing up with my parents.
Same. I actually remember my
me.
dad every single night.
And so I love doing that with our kids, and that's something that it's so easy to do, and especially buying them books, because they're gonna, if they're not reading now, or their reading is so important. It's how we learn, and even though there's other ways to take in media, and I sure take in media through audio better, but it's just that connection that you have when you're sitting down with them reading that book together, and they're seeing the words. It's so good for them, and it's just a good time, especially if you have kids that age, and any age. The truth is, you can read with your kids. I don't care what age they are. They could be 16 years old. You still sit down. They need to be reading.
Mm-hmm. And then car rides. I feel like car rides is a great place to have conversations, to have hard conversations, to have fun conversations, but definitely have the conversations.
We've resisted putting televisions inside
of
our car.
We don't have them.
Because we want those conversations to happen. We want, when we go on, and we like to go on excursions or car rides to, vacations, and we like to drive sometimes, because
it's
especially
great memories
if
for me
we're going to see great areas of the country.
They love looking out the window.
We love to stop and let them see those areas and get out and experience nature and experience the scene, rather than, because we can jump in a plane, and we've flown a lot too. But them experiencing it firsthand is just, especially with their family, us together as a family, it just you feel so connected when you can do that stuff. Yeah. And not having those televisions in there where they're just watching TVs all day long. And granted, we have rented cars before that have had televisions in them, and so we've experienced that, and we truly like the other version better. We like where we get to experience it together. I think because they're not used to it,
they get sick. So we tried it for about, I don't know, I don't even know the time, maybe an hour, and they just they threw up. So it's not for our family. It didn't work for us. And now when you're creating these memories, write them down, because memories fade, but written legacy builds generations. And these are things that they can share with their family. And remember, we're raising someone's wife, we're raising someone's husband. Don't be selfish. This is the traditions that they're going to carry on. You're raising, through them, you're going to have a huge impact on on your grandchildren. So really put the time in. It's not that long. If you have a busy business and you're doing things, include them, integrate them. And we'll talk about that another time.
So guys, this week we want you to write down the memory that you created with your family. Be intentional. It's intentional. You have to be intentional. If you don't consciously do it, then you won't do it right. So spend some time with your family. I know you're building a business. I know you probably might be working too. So you might be working with a side hustle. I've had 3 jobs at one time. I understand. I understand where you're coming from. But be intentional. Spend that time with your family. You're not going to be able to get that back. You're going to look back one day and they're going to be 19.
Yeah.
It happens fast.
Yeah, it happens fast.
So spend that time with your kids while you can. You will never get that. You look at them right now or look at them when you can. You will never get that moment back again.
Yeah.
So
and start, if you're pregnant, just start now. Start spending time with that baby. Start speaking life over the baby. I spoke life over my babies. Before they had names, before I saw their little beautiful eyes for the first time. I'd call them leaders. I'd call them strong. I'd declare them to be children of the Most High God. And I would place my hands over my belly and say things like, you were born for such a time as this. And these words of affirmation, it doesn't stop. You say it when they're here. You are set apart. You are covered by the grace and you are covered by grace and protected by love. You will do great things, not just someday, but today. And they need to hear these things because you can't outsource legacy. It starts with your mouth. It starts with presence and it starts with prayer.
And it's another way of connecting with them. When you do this, it's how you connect with them. Yeah. So thank you guys for joining us for this week's Entrepreneur Parents Pretty and Punk podcast.
I really wanted. I have this little prayer that I wanted to share with you guys.
And I do want to say it's Charles's birthday today. I realized it when you were talking earlier about your friend. And it's so weird. Like I just looked at my phone and Charles's birthday popped up, and so say happy birthday, Charles. Happy heavenly birthday, Charles. And what was the prayer that you wanted to say?
Well, it was about a prayer for your children. So if you're able to, you can come up with something like this. Daniel, come here. Daniel just woke up, so he kind of threw us off, but you could sit in my lap, baby. God, thank you for the gift of these children. We speak life, strength, wisdom, protection, and purpose over them. We declare that they are not defined by this world, but by your word. Let them rise with courage. Let them walk in truth. Let them know they are deeply loved, not for what they do, but who they are. And may no weapon formed against us ever prosper. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Thank you guys for joining us this week with the Entrepreneur Parents Pretty and Punk podcast. We know if you guys are struggling with this, we are too. Just know that everybody struggles with this. Mm-hmm. We have parent guilt. We're all worrying about whether we're spending the time that we need to with our kids.
Yes.
Do your best, show up for them, and I promise things will work out.
And if this episode spoke to your soul, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with someone that needs this message. It helps the show grow. It helps to get to the people that really need this message so we can build this community. God bless you guys, and we'll see you next week.
We'll see you guys next week.
Thank you guys so much for listening to this episode of the Entrepreneur Parents Pretty and Punk podcast. We hope you got something from this episode today, and we really hope you have a great time. God bless. We love you.
Thank you for listening to this show today, friends. I'd love for you to share the show, leave a kind review, and of course 5 stars because we're best friends and all. Come on, friends, let's get this show to the people that really need this message. God bless you, and we'll see you next time on the Entrepreneur Parents Pretty and Punk podcast. Do your exercises and kiss your mommy on the cheek like I am gonna do right